Hello, discrete math fans. Let's talk about arguments. Now, when you talk about arguments in natural language, you really generally mean a few people having an exchange about different points of view. You try to convince somebody of something, they try to convince you. That's not what we're going to talk about here. In mathematics, an argument is a very formal process. It's simply a sequence of statements ending in a conclusion. What we're going to do is we're going to show how to determine whether an argument is valid. That is, whether the conclusion follows necessarily from the preceding statements. We're going to show that determining if an argument is valid depends only on its form and not on its content. Remember, when we talk about form, we're taking our statements and rewriting them using our formal logic with ands, ors, nots, implies, things like that. Here's an example of an argument. If Jeannie doesn't eat her dinner, she will be hungry. Jeannie isn't hungry. Therefore, Jeannie ate her dinner. Here is the form of this argument. If P, then Q. Not Q. Therefore, not P. All right, here's a definition about what we mean by an argument and an argument form and a few other bits of terminology. So an argument is simply a sequence of statements. That's all. An argument form is a sequence of statement forms. So remember that the difference between a statement and a statement form is converting statements into symbols. So all the statements in an argument and all statement forms in an argument form, except for the final one, are called premises. You can also call them assumptions or hypotheses. The final statement or statement form is called the conclusion. And then we'll always place the symbol with 3 dots, which you read as therefore. You generally place that before the conclusion. To say that an argument form is valid means that no matter what particular statements are substituted for the statement variables in the premises, if those premises are all true, then the conclusion must also be true. So to say that an argument is valid means that its form is also valid. So the main idea of a valid argument or argument form is that the truth of the conclusion, the final statement, necessarily follows from the truth of the premises. It's impossible to have a valid argument with true premises and a false conclusion. So when an argument is valid, and if all the premises are true, then what you say is that the conclusion, the truth of the conclusion, is inferred or deduced from the truth of the premises. That knowing the premises are true tells you that the conclusion is true. All right, so here's how we're going to test an argument form for validity. First, we're going to identify the premises and conclusions of the argument form. So the last statement form is the conclusion. All the statement forms that come before are the premises. Next, we're going to construct a truth table. It'll show the truth values of all the premises and the conclusion. Then we're going to find rows that are called critical rows. Any row of the truth table in which all of the premises are true is called a critical row. If we can find a critical row in which the conclusion is false, then it is possible for an argument of the given form to have true premises and a false conclusion, and that makes the argument form invalid. On the other hand, if the conclusion in every critical row is true, then the argument form is valid. Now, right now, this may seem a little bit confusing. What we really need to do is go through some examples to see how this works. And that's what we're going to do in the next few videos. Okay, that's all for now.